I am going to be straight with you. If the grocery store shelves went bare tomorrow, could your garden actually keep your family fed? Most people's gardens could not. They're full of nice-to-haves instead of need-to-haves, and when push comes to shove, a bed full of cherry tomatoes and herbs is not going to carry you through the winter. My grandfather fed a family of 7 through some lean years, and he did it with a handful of crops that stored well, produced heavy, and packed real calories, not fancy stuff, not trendy stuff, survival stuff. In this video, I am going to show you 8 crops that will actually keep food on the table no matter what the world throws at you. And stick around for the bonus tip at the end, because it is a simple storage method that most modern gardeners have completely forgotten about. Let us get to work. First up, and this is the backbone of any serious food garden, is potatoes. There's a reason entire civilizations were built on this crop. It's potatoes. Grow in zones 3 through 10, they produce massive yields in small spaces, and they store for months in a cool, dark place. My top picks are Yukon Gold, Kennebec, and Red Pontiac. Kennebec is a workhorse that gives you big, starchy tubers, perfect for everything from frying to mashing. Plant seed potatoes, 4 inches deep, 12 inches apart, in loose soil with full sun, and hill the soil up around the stems as they grow. 1 pound of seed potatoes can give you back 8 to 10 pounds of food. That is the kind of math that matters when you're feeding a family. The mistake most people make is planting grocery store potatoes that have been treated with sprout inhibitor. Buy certified seed potatoes and you will get a clean, disease-free crop every time. The second thing you need to know about is dry beans, and I cannot stress this enough. Dry beans are the crop that turns a garden into a real food source because they give you protein that stores for years. Zones 3 through 10, and I grow pinto, black turtle, and Jacob's cattle every single year. Plant them 1 inch deep, 4 inches apart, in full sun after the soil warms to at least 60 degrees. Let the pods dry completely on the vine until they rattle when you shake them. Then pull the whole plant and thresh the beans out. 1 50-foot row can give you 10 to 15 pounds of dried beans. That is real food, real protein, and it sits in a mason jar on the shelf for 2 to 3 years without losing a thing. My grandfather always said beans and potatoes together will keep a man alive, and he was not wrong. Next on the list is winter squash, and this one is near and dear to my heart. Winter squash is nature's canned food. You harvest it in the fall, cure it on the porch for a week, and it sits in your pantry for 3 to 6 months without any refrigeration. Zones 3 through 10 and butternut Waltham is the one I would pick if I could only grow one variety for the rest of my life. I also grow blue, Hubbard and Delicata every year. Give them full sun, plenty of room because the vines run 6 to 10 feet, and deep water once a week. Each plant can give you 3 to 5 squash, weighing several pounds apiece. That is a lot of meals from one hill. The honest truth is winter squash does most of the work itself. Just keep the squash vine borers off it and get out of its way. If you are getting something out of this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week with honest, no-nonsense gardening advice you can actually use. It is free and it means you will not miss the next one. All right, let us keep going. Coming in at number 4 is sweet corn, and let me tell you why this matters for food security. Corn is a calorie crop. Dried on the cob and ground into meal, it becomes a staple that stores through the winter. Zones 3 through 11, and my picks are Golden Bantam, Stowell's Evergreen, and Bloody Butcher, which is an old heirloom that makes the best cornmeal you have ever tasted. Plant seeds 1 inch deep, 8 inches apart, in blocks of at least 4 rows so they pollinate properly. Single rows will give you empty ears. That is the number one mistake I see people make with corn. Full sun, rich soil, and heavy feeding. Because corn is a greedy plant. Side dress with compost when the stalks are knee-high and again when the tassels appear. Number 5 is cabbage, and forget what you have heard about it being boring. Cabbage is a food security powerhouse because it grows in cool weather, produces heavy heads, and stores in a root cellar for 3 to 4 months. Zones 1 through 10, and I plant Copenhagen Market, Lates Gruet for exactly that reason. Plant transplants in early spring or late summer, 18 inches apart, full sun, and keep the water consistent. Cabbage also ferments into sauerkraut, which means you can preserve it without any electricity or fancy equipment. Number 6 is sweet potatoes, and there's a good reason preppers and homesteaders love this crop. Sweet potatoes produce a tremendous amount of calories per square foot. They are packed with vitamins, and they store for months after a proper cure. Zones 5 through 11 and Beauregard, Covington, and Georgia Jet are the ones I trust. Georgia Jet is especially good for shorter seasons up north. Plant slips after the soil hits 65 degrees, 12 inches apart, full sun, and minimal fuss. Cure them at about 85 degrees for 10 days after harvest, and they will keep in a cool pantry well into spring. Do not refrigerate them. Cold ruins sweet potatoes. A single plant can give you 3 to 5 pounds of roots, and you can grow your own slips from last year's potato so you never have to buy seed again. Number 7 is onions, and I will tell you right now, most people underestimate how important onions are for long-term food. They flavor everything. They store for months, and they are loaded with nutrients. Zones 3 through 9, and you need to match your type to your latitude. Yellow Granex for the south, Copra for the north, which stores better than any onion I have ever grown, and red burgundy for an all-purpose red. Plant sets or transplants in early spring, 1 inch deep, 4 inches apart, full sun. When the tops fall over, pull them and cure in a dry, shady spot for 2 weeks. A properly cured copra onion will last 6 months or more in a cool room. The key is that curing step. Skip it and your onions rot within weeks. Number 8 on our list is carrots, and there is a good reason they close out this list. Carrots can stay in the ground right through winter if you mulch them heavily. That means you have a fresh vegetable available in January when nothing else is growing. Zones 3 through 10 and Danvers Half-Long, Napoli, and Scarlet Nantes are my picks year after year. Plant seeds a 1/4 inch deep in loose soil, thin to 2 inches apart, and be patient because they can take up to 3 weeks to germinate. A 100-foot row can yield 75 to 100 pounds of carrots. Stored in damp sand in a root cellar, they keep for 4 to 5 months. My grandfather kept carrots in the ground under a thick layer of straw and pulled them fresh all winter long. Free cold storage, courtesy of the earth itself. Now, if you take nothing else from this video, remember this. My grandfather taught me that growing the food is only half the battle. Storing it is the other half, and the method he swore by was root cellaring. You do not need a fancy underground bunker, a cool corner of a basement, an unheated garage, or even a buried trash can with a layer of straw on top. Will hold potatoes, carrots, onions, beets, and cabbage for months. Keep the temperature between 32 and 40 degrees, the humidity high, and check your stores every couple of weeks for anything going soft. That one simple practice turns a summer garden into a year-round food supply. And that is the honest truth about growing food that actually keeps your family fed. No fancy tricks, no gimmicks, just 8 crops that produce real calories and store through the winter. If this helped you out, go ahead and subscribe. I put out new videos every week to help you grow better food and depend a little less on that grocery store. Take care, and I will catch you in the next one.